Anywho, y'all, any more words of that lady who sings the Buzz on Mackie theme song? Don't ask me why. Anyway, because I wasn't planning on making another video. I mean, I was gonna make this video eventually, but not as soon as I made it. But anywho, I figure this is as good a time as any because I do have with me the official Selena Gomez cookies. So I figured I would kill two birds with one stone because this video was more impromptu. The actual Selena Gomez video was not the Golden Age of Disney Channel, because I was going to make the Golden Age of Disney Channel video anyways. But I really didn't have a specific thing to do that for, like. And let me see, where, nowhere in here. Y'all know what? Just come on with me, like the YouTubers on, like the professional YouTubers, except they're usually going somewhere cool. I'm just going over here. Well, actually, no, this is better, actually, because I can prop this up against that. Prop that right there. Let's see. Yep, yeah. And then y'all can check out the little Selena Gomez cookies right there. As you can see, it says Selena Gomez, the legend herself. Let me open these up real quick. I would call this a mukbang, but it's not even that. It's one of those old school, I try a new thing, tell y'all what it tastes like type of. Tell y'all what it tastes like type of thing. God damn it. Yeah. Irresistible. I don't even try. Now I'm ready to. Okay, I don't really. I'm going for the thing. Really? Okay. You have a slit? Oh. I'm done today. They have a slit on the side. That was all for nothing. That was embarrassing. Any fucking who? Y'all don't need to see me with a mouthful of cookies, though. I know that for damn sure. Either way, I'm going to eat these. But anyway, my mama and them, they pretty much picked these up a day ago, or 2 days ago, actually. So I wanted to try these anyways. And I was going to try them. But, looks like a regular cookie. I don't even know what this. What's supposed to have a flavor to it? I'm pretty sure they went. No, I smell pumpkin spice. Actually, it smells like smell pumpkin spice. Because I'm pretty sure Selena would be some regular ass cookies. Like, even if it is just like a regular flavor you can get anywhere, I'm pretty sure she still would have to at least have a flavor to justify making these cookies. It's not like they overpriced. I don't think they $75 or something. But the brand is Oreo. If y'all couldn't tell when I was showing it to you, can't really see what the flavor is. Is it cream? Anywho, I'm not gonna do like the other YouTubers that be sitting down doing all that, switching around their mind. My nigga, I ain't got time for that shit. This ain't even that serious. Like, I ain't no food critic. Even if cause like I used to try all kinds of weird stuff. Like when Justin Bieber had those little, well, not even his brand. Even though he should have sold that. This ain't even original what Selena making. She didn't even make it. She just teamed up with the Oreo company. This is a collaboration. A endorsement, whatever. But anyway, what Justin Bieber did was he wasn't with nobody. I just heard that Justin Bieber like to, put ice cream on his popcorn. So I tried that 8 years ago back when I used to do these videos. I also tried the Burger King burrito. Anywho, back then, yeah, those were actually things they were just in those Cheeto, whatever they were. Was it Cheeto chicken fingers? Yeah. Or whatever, chicken fries or whatever the fuck they was they had it with Burger King or fucking, yeah. Anyway, those were things that they made themselves that they can actually, put in a fucking, they can call them the rich. But anywho, they can sell it. They could have sold it. Justin Bieber could have sold his stuff. They were already selling it because that was Burger King. But, Justin Bieber could have sold what he made, the popcorn with the ice cream on top of it. See how many people buy it and just call it Bieber's ice cream popcorn. Like, nobody else was selling that shit. That's really something old Justin Bieber was eating. Fans would have just bought it, and I would have just bought it to try it, like on some D'Amelio shit. Also, who the hell is buying gourmet popcorn from the D'Amelio? But hey, I mean, look at me. I'm trying Selena Gomez cookies. I mean, so who am I to talk? I mean, of course, I didn't buy them myself, but I was going to buy them. But anyway, let me try this damn cookie. I mean, I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be tasting, but I mean, not too shabby. But yeah, I don't even know what flavor this is supposed to be. So I'm just definitely tasting something. I mean, but because I can also smell it, so. Cause your taste buds and your olfactories, and all your senses help you taste stuff. So whatever I'm smelling, I can taste it too. So, I don't know what that flavor is, but I don't really eat Oreos. I heard they got Reese's Oreos, but I don't really eat Oreos. So, I mean, it's definitely an Oreo. Definitely not the same flavor, because they used to have them with lemon flavor Oreos, so I ain't even gonna lie. Like, whatever I'm supposed to be tasting, I tasted something. And I couldn't get them for a limited time, but I had already seen these on the commercial on YouTube, so these are pretty good. Probably should save these though. But I probably won't eat them all, just so they won't go stale. But anywho, whatever the hell these were supposed to be, not bad. But nothing crazy either. So, those are pretty good. So I say if you're a fan of Selena, fan of Oreos, or even if you're not a fan of Oreos, get them anyways. If you're a fan of Selena, if you're not a fan of Selena and you just like Oreos, yeah, I guess. But if you're not a fan, but if you're just a fan of Oreos and you ain't really a fan of Selena, I mean, I wouldn't get them. But they don't taste any. They ain't not a crazy flavor. So I wouldn't get them if you're not really a fan of Selena or Oreos and drink in general. Ooh. There it is. But anywho, yeah, like I said, if you're not a Selena-nator and you don't really fuck with Oreos like that, don't get them. But if you both, you a Selena-nator and you like Oreos, or again, if you just want to support Selena and her many business endeavors, because she also has the Rare line, which is a beauty line. Like if you a dude and you don't really wear shit, but you got a girlfriend and you want to get her something cool for Christmas or her birthday, Valentine's Day, some kind of holiday, whatever, or for your mama, or your sister, I suggest y'all get that shit because it ain't. Because unlike the or if you got somebody in your family who's a beauty guru, yeah, but other than that, like, I'm not gonna lie. Well, not lie, I'm a dude, so I don't really use that. Again, I don't use that stuff. The women use it. Like I said, that's like the time when Dustin came out with perfume. I'm like, I don't really use perfume, but I would get that stuff, give it, which my mama already got a bottle, but I would have got her some of that because she listened to some of Justin's songs. The fam they listen to Justin, so I'd be like, I buy TT, like Mama, like that. I buy them some. I would have bought them some, which I didn't have the money, but I'm just saying the dream was to get rich enough to be like everybody, like even the dudes. I want to got perfume as a joke. I'd be like. Like, oh, the CJ up with it, y'all ain't gotta use it. I'm just messing with y'all. I'm just pranking y'all. Shit, just give it. I don't know. And really, they could give it to a woman anyway. So I'm like, yeah, I didn't mean for you to use it. And so, yeah, I'm good. So really, I ain't gotta be saying what's wrong with it. I'm just like, it ain't really for you though. I'm like I just bought it because it's Justin Bieber shit and. I'm trying to support the artist, so you can give it to whoever you want to give it to. But, yeah, y'all. Yep. Okay, there's barely anything in that. That ain't nothing but a... But anywho, yeah, that was Selena Gomez's new stuff. People. Like I said, the cookies were alright, but they wasn't crazy. Like, oh my god, these are the best cookies I ever had. It's not like whatever them crumble cookies is. Like them crumble cookies, I ain't never had them, never heard of them. I'm assuming they was something that existed my whole life, and I just like, I don't know what that is. I probably still wouldn't know what it is if it wasn't for the internet. But I'm gonna say that's still its own brand, its own thing. Like the Patty, what's her name? Patty LaBelle pie. And, yeah. So yeah. I say buy the cookies, don't buy them, but and I I wouldn't, because like I said, this ain't even the mukbang. This all. I mean, yesterday's video was gonna be a mukbang, but I ain't even eat that cake on screen, so I ain't want to lie to y'all and say that was a fucking mukbang, and like that wasn't even a mukbang, my niggas. If y'all don't know what a mukbang is, that's literally just where you eat food on camera while talking to the audience or about any other activities, or you talk about the food. You just talk about the food that you're actually eating. It's not like what I did where you just try one product. Or I guess you could technically, if you try multiple products, it could still be considered a mukbang. But if you just trying one thing, I don't really think that counts as a mukbang. It's been a while though. That was back in the day, man. K16, about 9 years ago. So I ain't really done nothing like that in a while. So I had to try to do it just for old time's sake. But anywho, yeah. But anywho, and y'all can see this video is titled Selena Gomez cookies, which now you obviously see why. No hesitation like the other videos. With the so I had to put that in the time. Now I feel like I need to have an excuse to do like Selena Gomez's biography. But at the same time, I'm like, why specifically just Selena, Demi, or Miley? I mean, why specifically just Selena? Why not Selena? Why not Demi, Miley, or Christy, Hillary, Raven? The damn thing is, I'm not about to do that. But this is kind of a brief biography of Selena Gomez, since we already talked about Selena. But Selena Gomez was born in Texas. I'm gonna say Houston. I don't know specifically what city. Texas in 1992 to Mother Mandy Teefee, a white lady, and a Hispanic dude whose name I do not know the name of, so y'all can look that up for yourself. She started in 2000 with the Demi Lovato on Barney. 7 years later, she blew up on a little. Actually, let's go back a bit. She was gonna have a show called Stevie Sanchez, or I guess Stevie Says, but I prefer to say Stevie Sanchez because she's supposed to be the sister of Miranda Sanchez. But the show was called Stevie Sanchez, or excuse me, Stevie Says, or actually it might be called What Stevie's Thinking. I don't fucking care. The show doesn't actually exist. It's a hypothetical show anyway. We talking about a show that was going to exist, but it was supposed to be a spinoff of, Liz McGuire, because she was going to be playing Miranda's little sister, who apparently, I'm like, am I crazy? I don't remember Miranda having a little sister, but at the same time, I ain't seen, Liz McGuire since like K13, K14, K15. Like, I ain't seen that shit in years. So I'm like, you could have told me she had 15 sisters and I would have been stupid enough to believe. Because I'm like, that would have been a racist stereotype. But I'm like, this is Disney back in the early 2000s. You think they really cared that much? Like, even if they had diversity, which in their cartoons, to be fair, they got major diversity. Like, you can't even really complain. And that's the same thing with the Nicktoons. Like, with the D-Chan tunes and the Nicktoons, you can't really complain because unlike their live action program, which is lacking, because I mean, you could argue, what about Lizzie? What about like Raven? I'm like, unless you're talking about the whole brother sister dynamic, that ain't diverse. Now you talk about again, color and race. I mean, that's 3 females, but that's because they thought only females watched Disney Channel, so that don't really count either. They didn't do it on purpose for any other reason, just for their bottom line, other than they wanted to sell products. So it wasn't on purpose, but it wasn't for, any earnest attempt at trying to make female diversity or whatever, to be inclusive. Because this was before then anyway, but they had episodes of Liz McGuire where they focused on weight and body image, body dysmorphia. So they were ahead of their time, but they still were behind. But you gotta understand, this is the olden days. So anything is better than nothing. So I would say the little representation that we did have, yeah, it's better than nothing. Whereas today, if we had the same amount of representation, I'm like, oh, that was 24 years ago. That was really 25 years ago. And then you got the other the other but yeah, you had that little bit of diversity, and then by the time Phil of the Future, that's kind of more white people, if you don't mind. Which again, I had a crush on Amy Bruckner, so I'm not complaining. Everybody had a crush on Allison Washaka, but at the same time, there was no diversity on that show. But it's kind of crazy that that dude played the principal and the caveman, so that's crazy. He was also on Aaron Stone, so but that was like 5 years later. Yeah, but then you got like Sweet Life, again, more white people, but Brenda Song was there, so Mr. Mosby was, so I mean, yeah, then you got like, but anywho, but yeah, this was supposed to be a spinoff of Lizzie McGuire, but it never happened. Never. Then they was gonna give Selena another spinoff called Arwen, which wasn't really her spinoff. It was gonna be about the Brian Stepanek from Sweet Life's character Arwen, as a titular character, the titular himself. He was gonna be the main character of that show. His character, basically, I don't know what was going, but she was gonna play one of the characters, one of the friends. And I'm kind of sad that show never happened. But at the same time, if that show happened now, either one of these shows, and you be like, I don't really want to see this. Because they would have to use the Aiden technology to make Selena look younger. And ain't nobody trying to see that. This ain't Hillary Duff. Yeah. Ain't nobody really want to see that shit. Unless y'all want to see it. I'm like, I ain't trying to see that mess, man. But yeah, ain't nobody trying to see that. Ain't nobody got time for that. But I still watch it. But that's only for the same reason I'm watching the reboot of Wizards. You like, this is something we should have got a long time ago. Like, you ask me, they should have rebooted Wizards maybe 5 years after it. Well, 5 years after it ended. Because I feel like you can't reboot it 5 years after it started. Because that would have just been 2012 and it would have ended that same year. And they had already had a reunion on March the 15th. But anywho, by the time we got to, then she guest starred on a little show. Maybe you heard of it, and I just mentioned it a while ago. The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. Once she was already on Cody, Zack and Cody, she got to kiss Cole, but she said she wanted to kiss Dylan, but whatever. Which is funny because in the episode he wanted to kiss her, but he ended up kissing somebody else, and then the girl wanted to kiss him. But he didn't want to kiss Agnes. But who the fuck wants to kiss a girl named Agnes? Bitch, what are you, 55, 58? If I kiss a bitch, now her name is Agnes, I'm like, it's just because I guess I'm just into older women now. But then back then, that was a girl's name, Agnes? What's his name? Of course, there was also a girl that Cole character was dating named Irma. Irma? What are you, old or foreign? But I don't have Which I'm just saying I'm not making fun of foreign people. I'm just saying if you had a different name like that, if you had another name, Anywho, I'm just saying I wouldn't have been used to people named Irma, so I would assume you must have been from another country. Because that's not like a common American name is all I'm saying. Like we don't usually have people named Irma, especially not in the modern day. Like Helga, Irma might have been common everywhere in the '80s, maybe. Olga, Helga. Anywho, anywho, but yeah, Alex, he did the Sweet Life. Rocking the boat around. I wish. Then she finally made it. Got her own show called Wizards of Waverly, which I ain't even gotta say. You know, '07. Since then, she been going up on a Tuesday and got the girls in the deuce and they Tuesday. Woo. No, seriously, Selena's bisexual. If y'all didn't know. But after that, pretty much the rest is history, as they say. Because then they got a movie 2 years later. The show ended 5 years later, and then she started her music career. Her first album was dropped on September the 29th, which is always coming up in 6 days. September the 20th, so that's 92909 or 92909. Anywho, so yeah, that show. I mean, and the album was called Kiss and Tell, if y'all didn't know. She was also on the soundtrack for another Cinderella story, which was a sequel to Hilary Duff's Cinderella story from 4 years earlier. And she was on, and she had a Wizard of Waverly Place soundtrack, and but anywho, and there was a video game. But we're not here to talk about Wizard of Waverly Place. If y'all want me to do something for that can be next month. But anywho, my point was I pretty much said all the information you pretty much need to know about that in this video, except for I didn't say when it aired. But anywho, so yeah, so the show went for about another 6 years. She dropped a bunch of other records in 2014. She dropped Kiss and Tell. I mean, not Kiss, A Year Without Rain in K10 and K11. She dropped When the Sun Goes Down. In also in K10, she dropped on July the 23rd a little movie, maybe y'all heard of it, called Ramona and Beezus with Joey King. But anywho, let's see. The lead singles from that, if y'all really want to know, the title track was called Kiss and Tell. The lead singles were Falling Down and Naturally. Year Without Rain was the title track and the lead single, Round and Round, and what else was on there? The song Live Like There's No Tomorrow was featured on as a song in Ramona and Beezus. What else was on there? Anyway, Hit the Lights was the title, was the lead single for When the Sun Goes Down. What else was that shit? Hit the Lights. What is Who says you're not perfect? Who says you're not worthy? Who says you're the only one that's hurting? Anyway, that song, oh, you know, Bang 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 was not a lead single, but I like that song. And then anywho, but yeah. But anyway, this is supposed to be a brief biography anyway. I might give y'all a full biography. It's mostly gonna be the same information but longer and more details. But let's see. 2012, she was in a movie called what was that? Well, 2011, she was in a movie called Monte Carlo, which I'm pretty sure has a song Who Says in there. In 2012, she was in a movie called Spring Breakers with a bunch of other people, Vanessa Hudgens, a bunch of other, former child stars. What else? Make It Happen was a song for Was the Waverly Place that I feel like they was like, hey, anyway, they was like, because at first she didn't want to really sing unless it was on her terms, but then, so I guess her and Disney tried to test the waters to see if anybody wanted her to do music, and Make It Happen is still a good song to this day. It's just there's not a full version of that song anywhere I can think of. But as far as I know, it's not on her page unless it's somewhere you gotta scroll down, because she got a whole bunch of songs over the last 16 years. Anywho. Tell Me Something I Don't Know was featured on both the Another Cinderella Story soundtrack and the Kiss and Tell album. Again, the title track for the other song, for the other album, Year Without Rain, and When the Sun Goes Down. And then let me see. Again, she skipped 2012 completely, just like Miley. I guess Miley, Selena, and Demi had some kind of pact that they would skip. Because like we all knew Hillary wasn't coming back. We knew Raven hadn't made music in 359 years. We knew Christy was like, oh, null and void. I don't want to hear no album from Ashley. No, please don't ever do that again. That's like some Mandy Rain shit before Mandy Rain. So Mandy Rain kind of modeled after you. But anywho, yeah. We're not here to talk about other teen pop star, former teen idols. But anywho, what is she with? On July the 19th, 3 days before her birthday. Oh, I think I forgot to say that. She was born 1992, July 2nd, to parents Mandy Tiffy and I don't remember. Again, I still can't remember the Hispanic dude's name, but him. So yes, Selena is technically biracial. Y'all heard that right. She technically is biracial, but I consider her a Latino because she doesn't really look like she's white. Like, you didn't know she was half white, you wouldn't know. And technically, I guess her voice kind of sounds white, but what does that really sound like? I don't know. I guess we could, but stereotypical white. But I mean, are we really gonna do that? Nah. Anywho, but yeah, she released that 3 days before her birthday. It had the song "Birthday," which is still one of the weirdest songs I've ever heard. She has the title track "Stars Dance." Stars Dance on July the 19th. She what else is on that album? Walk Like a Champion, which is not like it's not a it's not a single. What was the single for that? Slow Down, which Falling Down and Slow Down are my all-time favorite Selena songs. Of all, what did she release next? I mean, not next. What was the other? Was that the only two lead singles, I believe? Birthday and Slow Down. Baby, slow down the song. I believe those were the only two I can think of off bat. Like, it has been 12 years, so. eh. Um, yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's been that long. It's been a while. Um, I think she did do a movie that year, but I don't know what the fuck it was called, and I ain't finna look it up because y'all okay, because that may not have to stop this video, go back to it. Even though I think in the old days it did have a pause, but again, that was still gonna mess up the video. And then, anywho, so by the time K13 was over and she released that album, K14, for some reason, she did what Hilary Duff had already done, but I didn't know Hilary Duff had an album called Most Wanted, and then another greatest hits. I'm like, Hilary Duff, yeah, that kind of has a double meaning, but also Hillary, Hillary, you hadn't been around long enough to do a goddamn greatest hits. Because, like, if you had come out in the year 2000 instead of 2001, and even then, you didn't release an album until '03 with Metamorphosis. So that don't make sense in like '07, '08 to create a greatest. You ain't got enough, well, not even that. You have enough songs, but you ain't been around long enough. It'd be different if you was my age and you had a bunch of songs that you already released and you just call them a greatest hits and you just call it a date. Like, I'm old, my nigga. I ain't got time to make no more songs. But like, she was still young in her 20s or whatever. Not well, like teenage years and shit. She was a teenager in 20 something. So how the fuck as a teen? How the fuck as a teen and a 20 something you ain't got time to really? Okay, sure, that's a choice. It was obvious she was trying to get out. But anyway, she retired and didn't come back until 2014. But anyway, she about to make music again 10 years later. Anywho, but we ain't here to talk about Hillary. Actually, we are, but not now, but not yet. But anywho, what I'm saying is after that, see, Selena's greatest album, December the 24th, which I think is too much of a coincidence because Justin had released his album a year prior on the December the 23rd. So I'm like, you mean to tell me that album just so happens to coincide with that? But anywho, and this greatest hits album is basically just all those other songs I just named, but with Come and Get It, Hearts Want What It Wants, which again are the two I actually forgot from the Stars Dance album, but I don't really like that shit. I mean, I don't really like those songs. And I remember thinking that album, these songs are alright, but they not like the other three albums. But I still liked most of the songs, but just not as much as the other three. So I still like them, just not as much as the other ones. This Technic, and then she was no longer with Hollywood Rex. Or really, she was no longer with Rock Mafia. She started working with some dudes named Cataracts. It's the Cataracts. Ask me how I do it. It's the Cataracts. I just wanna feel your body right next to mine. All night long, oh baby, slow down the song. And when it's coming closer to the end, hear it whine. All night long, oh baby, slow down the song. Whoa, whoa, oh, oh, whoa, whoa, oh, oh. Yeah, oh baby, slow down the song. Easy. Yeah. Yeah, but y'all get the point. She released my favorite album of all time, Revival, which features the title track again, Revival, because the last album before that was called For You, and my favorite song off that album was a new song that wasn't even a hit, that wasn't even the greatest hits, it was just Do It. A brand new song. I mean, I guess you can do that. I don't know. Because at the time, none of my favorite artists have been around long enough to do a greatest hits album, which is why I'm like, Selena, you got hits. It's not that you can't make it. It's like it's not that you don't have the greatest hits. It's just too soon. And I don't even consider that as like a thing when they retiring. It's not even that. I just feel like you gotta be around not even that much longer than when she was around, like a full decade, not a half a decade. Cause like unless she was gonna put, tell me something I don't know, which I think actually is technically on there, but it's been a while. It's been 11 years, so. But still, tell me something I don't know. I don't know, Year Without Rain, fucking, I don't know if Round and Round was on there. Who Says, fucking, Falling Down. I can't remember if Slow Down is on there or not. You got, what is it? Is More on there? Is More on there? Yeah, More. No, More. Yeah, More is on there. Yeah, because that's the Spanish version that's called Mas. Mas. It's fucking 101% touchdown. We gonna kill it, gonna lead the pack, gonna take this town. Let's go, take over the dance floor. You'll be learning, it'll be on. Come on and let it play. And let me hear you say more, more, more. I want more. Come on, what you wanna wait for? Let's take everything we ask for. Come on and turn it up and tell the world we want more, more, more. Mm-hmm. 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 Anywho, yeah, but that song, and then a new song by the other Selena, R.I.P. Bitty Bitty Bum Bitty Bay. That song, I don't really speak Spanish, so I don't know what that means. And sometimes it get crossed up if you watch it on YouTube. So I would suggest, if y'all want the Greatest Hits album, go buy it in the store, because when you listen to it on YouTube Music, at least, I don't know about Spotify, Apple, iTunes, but on YouTube Music, it's a fucking mess. They got the wrong versions, like of what's that song? Dilemma 2.0 is not there. They got Dilemma 1.0. Actually, and I prefer Dilemma 1.0, but I'm like, still, come correct, do your job. And again, they still make you watch the music videos on YouTube Music on any. And I learned it because if you don't buy the premium, I'm not buying your premium. I clicked on the fucking album because I wanted to hear the album. If I wanted music, why you give me 3 different options if y'all still gonna give me the music video? Well, I got album, video, and single if I still gotta watch the goddamn music video after I clicked on the fucking out. What the fuck? This ain't Melanie Martin. I hate y'all so much. YouTube, get y'all shit together. This platform has been around for 8 years. Not as long as the entire platform itself, but 8 years out of 20, let's go. Let's go. That'd be like if it was 18 out of 20. Come on, man. It's been around long enough for y'all to get y'all shit together. Anywho, but whatever the fuck ever. My point is, the album was released. It had most of the songs from the other 4 albums. That's why it hadn't been long enough. And then the Revival album had Revival, Hands to Myself, Good For You. Good For You. What's this shit? Just Same Old Love. Well, you get the idea. And that was released on October I probably should look it up. October the 9th, I believe, of that year. Because Demi also released an album on October the 6th, which I'm pretty sure, 16th, which I'm pretty sure is more coincidental than the Justin thing. Now, even though they was in the exact same month, in the exact same year, but pretty sure it's still more coincidental than the Justin thing. But anywho, then in 2016, she was the executive producer of 13 Reasons Why. She did a song on there called Only You. She produced that with her mother, Mandy Tiffy. Next year in K17, she released a song called Wolves. Another song Bad Liar, fucking Fetish featuring Gucci Mane. What else? A bunch of crap. But anywho, 2018, she released a song called Back to You, which was obviously about Justin Bieber. And then 2021, 2021, she did a show called Only Birds in the Building. I only seen the first season because they finally showed it on Fox like 2 years later. I mean, why? It's not a movie. What else? I don't think she released the album in 2017, 18, 19, as far as I can remember. She released a Spanish album in like 2022. She produced the album, but she produced a couple of more TV series. She was on the, she is helping produce the new Wizards of Waverly Place reboot with David Henry, while simultaneously, still being on Murders in the Building. And she, guest starred on like 2 episodes. She finna come back in the new season 2. So I don't know. Watch that every Friday on Disney Channel at 7 o'clock and 7:30. Re-showing it like 10. Also Vampirina. Also check out Electric Bloom. I would say we're not gonna get to that, but we are. I'm just taking too damn long because again, this shit is 20-something years ago, so memory's a little fuzzy. Anywho, but that being said, that took way longer than I thought it was gonna take, but y'all get the idea. Yeah. But anywho, by the way, I don't have the Spanish album because I don't really speak Spanish, so I don't know what she's saying on that album. Rare in 2020. Oh, that's the album I forgot about. She Look at Her Now and whatever that other song. I fucking hate that song. Look at her go. Look at her now. Ew, Selena, stop doing that. That noise is annoying. She filmed all of those videos with a cell phone. She tried to make that seem like it was way more. I'm like, yeah, if you filmed it with one cell phone, but you filmed it with multiple ones, and they were taped to the ground, and the fucking ceiling, and the wall. How I can do that? I just can't afford that many fucking iPhones. But if you did that with one iPhone, even that first video you did for that other song, I can't remember the name of it right now, that shit is impressive because I'm like, this don't look too bad. I don't know if you edit this in some software, but this don't actually look too bad for a music video that was filmed on one cell phone, if that's how this one was. But the other one, Look at Her Now. No, Selena, no. You can clearly tell now. It's obvious, but we didn't know. But now you can clearly tell that's the only way one cell phone would have been able to get all these angles of you dancing from multiple different. How's that impressive? That's like if you had a selfie stick, or if you put it on a thing and set it up and watch the camera. You know what I'm saying? You put the camera on top of the thing and it watched you. Then again, that would be impressive because I feel like today's cameras, the front face, the selfie cam, could, in theory, keep up with her and move as she moves on the actual thing. But anywho, I'm gonna stop talking about Selena because I ain't got enough charge and I'm gonna have to put it on some other things. And then y'all might not be able to hear me. I might be too far away. But so anywho, the reason why this video was titled "The Golden Age of Disney Channel" is because that's what I was supposed to be talking about. But I got off track because they bought me the cookies the other day, and I'm like, I could make this 2 separate videos, but I'm like, then I'm gonna have to go into because I'm like, I'm not used to making short videos, so I'm like, I'm gonna have to add like Selena's biography or just find something else to talk about. But anywho, but yeah, the golden age of Disney Channel. See, Disney Channel itself started on not August, shut up, on April the 18th, 83. So 4/18/83. Because Walt Disney himself, before he passed in '66, always wanted to go into television, but he could never break out into television. Television was like founded in like 1940, 1950, 50s, either 1940s or 1950s. He wanted to break out into television. He never could back then, but they tried and tried, had program after program. None of them really took off on the television. Except for maybe Wonderful World of Disney, which we got. And then, so again, in the 1980s, a couple of years after he passed, well, not even like almost 2 decades later after he passed, what's that? 17 years later? Right. And that seems right. Because 76, 79. Yeah, that's 17, yeah. Anywho, so 17 years later after he passed, they pretty much broke it to television. From 83 to 97, Disney Channel was not really taking off. It wasn't really doing what we think of it as doing. It wasn't doing numbers. They had shows like, Alice, like similar to that new movie that Sabrina's working on. They had that show, which I would actually like to see that, even though the chick who's in that, I don't know her name, but that chick gotta be old. It's been 30 years and she was playing a teenager. So she at least gotta be 44 or 45. But, yeah, if not older, she might have been like they always are, 25 playing 15 or 13. But she would be 55. Either way, she in her 40s or 50s. But, yeah, I actually would like to see episodes of that shit. And then, they had, what's that show? Some Winnie the Pooh show with live animatronics that people say are creepy. But I don't disagree with them. Them shits look fucking weird. But yeah, there's, Pooh and Tigger and Piglet. But yeah, you got all your favorites there. I don't know if Rabbit and Owl and Roo, anywho, who gives a fuck? Winnie the Pooh is also a girl, if y'all didn't know. And the dude who wrote the book, what is his name? L.L. Milne Winnie the Pooh was an actual real person. Bear, actually. He was a real bear that was in a zoo, and his son used to like to go visit the bear in a zoo. So he made up the character Christopher Robin to be a, kind of a stand-in for his son. And that's why his son kind of resented him, because he got bullied for his dad being that guy and for him being the Christopher Robin in the book. But anywho, that's a story for another day. But anywho, yeah, Winnie the Pooh is actually a girl. So, good luck knowing that. Either that or he's a hermaphrodite, but there's a female in there. Yeah, let me see what else. Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about the 80s, except for the fact the only two movies that Disney will let them show is, Dumbo and fucking, Bambi, I believe. Because he wouldn't even let them show, like, I think he might have even let them show Pinocchio, maybe, but it was only two movies, though. But anyway, because he thought it would devalue the brand of Disney, and he thought maybe, and I'm like, he didn't see the 90s then, or the 2000s, or especially didn't see the 2010s or the 2020s, because shit, they don't give a fuck now, but VHS wouldn't even do that. Like, so anyway, they kept, putting stuff behind the fucking Disney Vault, and I didn't even know what the fuck the Disney Vault was when I was a kid. I thought it was a literal vault filled with old Disney movies, and yeah, but apparently it's not. Not a physical thing, just something they keep you from buying until 5 or 2 years, whenever 10 years, whenever they feel like releasing it again. I'm like, why the fuck would I do that when y'all could have just put it on TV like normal? Shut up, Disney. If Nick did that, I'd be like, fine, y'all are named after a movie company. Well, a bunch of movie theaters, a brand. Fucking CN, that'd have been stupid too. But anywho, so yeah. So after this shit pops up, so anywho, and then the only other thing is Britney, Christina, Justin Timberlake, and what's his name, Ryan Gosling, was on this show called the Mickey Mouse Club, which they tried to reboot in the 2000s, but nobody cared about that shit. Nobody gave two asses, fuck, titties, bitches, hoes, sluts. Anywho, I'm just saying words now. But anywho, nobody ain't really care about that. So yeah. Anywho, and the only Disney Channel show I ain't never heard of, besides the ones from 83 to 96, is the one that was in 98. I mean, I don't know when it was, but the one with Ryan Gosling where he played a fucking EMT, teen EMT. What the fuck is that shit? Get this shit out of my goddamn face. And people will defend their favorite Disney Channel show to the end, but I'm like, if nobody remembers your show, it's not actually popular. I wasn't there for the older Nickelodeon Disney shows in the 70s and the 80s, but I can tell you, them 90s shows, those 2000 shows, they were killing it. Like, I already knew because I watched this shit every goddamn day. So I can't tell you if Pinwheel, you can't do that on TV, fucking Mickey Mouse Club, but I'm willing to bet that was because it lasted a long time. But they even tried to revive it, but nobody felt, because they tried to put it on like YouTube or Facebook, whatever, and then like I don't know. Again, I can't tell you if Storytime with Belle, whatever that fucking Pooh show was on Disney, was popular or not in the 80s and the 90s on Disney Channel. I hate when people just say Disney. I'm like, you mean the theme park, the TV shows, the movies, one of the four channels? I don't know what you mean by Disney. You gotta be specific. But in this case, I can pretty much say Disney because you know what we're talking about. Lindsay Lohan is not a Disney, because when I think of Disney star, former Disney star, I think of like the channel. Like if you was on a bunch of Disney movies, I'm like, but you were free to do other movies. This is in 1948 where they tried to keep Bobby Driscoll and, you know, I don't know, the chick who played Snow White and all these voice actors to themselves. Yeah, Disney did a bunch of creepy shit. I ain't gonna get into that. But anywho, 97 rolls around. The first ever, because before then they would call Disney Channel Premiere Films, which if you want to know more about that, there's a YouTuber named Stephanie C. I don't know her last name, but Stephanie C. She did a whole video. I watched the video separately, but she did a whole 8-hour video about that shit on her channel. You can check that out. They was rolling out last year. Then she finally got most of the videos out this year. Anywho, yeah. Yeah. But we gonna get into anywho, and they had this thing called the Zoogs, which were these digital robot looking things, which I think will go over better now because you could just make them with AI, just little AI robots. But anyway, they were called Zoogs, and they were just these little robot computer things that live inside the space between the computer and the TV in this imaginary digital world. And that's when you could post and talk online about Disney Channel shows on the website, and you could, and anywho, y'all get the idea. And that's when they came up with Zoo Disney, which was the teenage brand of Disney Channel. You know, at first it was supposed to be for the whole family. But anyway, they came out with the first DCOM, which was called Under Wraps. Then they came out with, you know, like what was it called? And then, you know, eventually they came out with Don't Look Under the Bed, Halloween Town, you know, Xenon, Smart House, Brink. I'm not actually going in order. Some of these, what is that shit called? Phantom at the Megaplex, Scream Team. You know, just to name a few of my favorites. Oh, my mom's got a date with a vampire. My date with the president's daughter. Like a bunch of these. Yeah. But anywho, which brings me to my next point. The real first official, what the hell is official? Apparently I was making up words today. Not even making up words, just saying words. But the first official Disney Channel stars were, I would say my future wife, my future baby, Kimberly J. Brown, but she already married to the dude who played Calabar's son in the second movie. So I ain't gotta say that. They married in real life. That's crazy. I was hungry until I smelled something stinky. Maybe it was the big cheese. And by the way, Kimberly J. Brown, that shit's scary. She still look exactly the goddamn same. If I didn't know any better, I would say we were stuck in the 90s. Cause why she 3 times as old as she was back then, but she look exactly the same. Like, only thing is missing is the little ponytail and the bangs. But I'm like, damn, Kimberly J. Brown, you still look like Kimberly J. Brown. Like, fucking, I don't know what she taking, what she using. I don't know if it's Botox, some kind of cosmetic surgery, or she's doing some kind of medicine, or she on some kind of health regimen, something we don't know about. But whatever it is, except for those first 2 things, we need to get on that shit. Like, we need to do whatever Kimberly J. Brown is doing. Because Kimberly J. Brown looks exactly the same. It's just her voice is a little bit deeper, not super deep. Like, what's her name? Addison Ricky. Anywho. I'll talk about her next month, actually, guys. Anywho. Yeah. So, if y'all don't know who Kimberly J. Brown, I'm not gonna tell y'all, but she was in one of those movies that I just mentioned. Erin Chambers, she was also in one of those movies I just mentioned. But she after that she was in and by the way, the only other movie I ever seen Kimberly J. Brown in was Quince. That shit came out in 2000. I fucking still hate that movie. God damn. A bunch of crying babies. For an hour. Okay, that's certainly a choice for a movie. A bunch of crying twin babies. But anywho, after that shit, which again, that movie is one of the most irritating decoms really movies in general, but especially for a decom. I'm a child. I don't want. Okay, I watch Rugrats, but again, those are babies being played by grown women, which is why I find Rugrats kind of irritating 20-something years later. But back then, you're like, I'm 8. Watching babies do baby stuff is kind of interesting. But now he's like, I don't believe in that shit. Babies can't talk. Not that at 8 I thought babies could actually talk, but I did believe in ghosts and monsters and bullshit. So who's really the judge? But anywho, so God, what are we on? Oh, Erin Chambers started a move in a soap opera, which I don't know the name of. If y'all know the name of it, go watch it. But she was in like 120 episodes. I didn't know what the fuck she did after the movie. Yeah, so that was 120. That kept her busy. I don't know the name of the soap opera. She kind of faded into obscurity, basically. But I just got to shout out Kimberly J. Brown, Erin Chambers, and your boy Ryan Merriman, who you may remember from 2 other big DComs, the aforementioned Smart House and Luck of the Irish. What's her name? Not even what's her name. Yeah, but yeah. So, and Kirsten Storms was in Z9. She played Margie. Wait, that ain't right. I'm dumb. We gonna pretend like I didn't say that. We gonna pretend like I said she played Xenon the first time. I didn't say Margie. You said Margie. Who said Margie? Not me. I said Xenon. She played Xenon. Anywho, she also voiced Bonnie Rockwaller in the fucking Xenon. I mean, in the fucking Kim Possible TV show and movies. And the fucking Who, but for some reason in the future they had Erica Tham. I guess Bonnie was Asian. Why do we have the Asian girls the meaner? I mean, okay, that's a choice. Anywho, but anywho, yeah. But Raven was also in that movie as what was the name? Not Penelope, not Penelope. Help me here. Not Penelope. I know it starts with a P. Not Pinotra because that's not even a word. Nebula. Actually, why did I think it was? Yeah, Nebula. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Make my heart go boom, boom, boom. My supernova girl. By the way, one of the best Disney Channel DCOM trilogies, because, High School Musical, Xenon. I mean, and then you got, the Twitches, which only has 2 movies. I don't know what you would even call that. A duo. You got the Camp Rock movies, which there's going to be a 3rd one. So I guess that technically is about to be a trilogy, but we haven't seen them yet, so I ain't going to judge that till I see that shit. Starstruck, Lemonade Mile, fucking, a lot of these movies are good, but like they're not trilogy. I don't even know any other. The Descendants franchise. What else? Dragon Ball Z. No, I'm kidding. But actually, Akira Toriyama was actually a big fan of Disney. Get it? Bibbidi, bobbidi, boo. I'm like, that's so obvious now. I'm like, but anywho, who the fuck? But yeah, then you got again Double Team, right back on track. Whatever that movie Frankie Muniz was in, which that's come back. Malcolm in the Middle. What else? But there's a lot of decoms. Double Team, right back on track. Alley Cat Strike, again, Brink. Which that girl came back in the Lindsay Lohan movie and she sang that song, so she kind of made it now. Monkey Babies on the Chicken, I don't fucking. see what else. I guess Buffalo Dreams. You got Rip Girls, which is something I remember but kind of forgot about. Yeah, again, there's a lot of these bitches. There's actually 121 of these bitches, so I'm not going to talk about them. Again, if you want to see that, go check out Stephanie C, whatever her last name is. And that's apparently, I guess, her middle name, C, whatever that stands for. And the last name is whatever it is. But also the Even Stevens, that's the thing. Pride Family, all of those got, DComs. Anywho, but yeah, they gave so anywho, back in the olden days, so basically what I'm trying to say with this video was back in the olden days, Hillary, Christy, Raven, Selena, Demi, Miley, Vanessa, Zach, Corbin, Ashley, everybody was winning. It was winner chicken dinner. You got you got Allie and AJ, Allie and AJ, the Panabaker, I can't talk today. Allie and AJ, the Panabaker sisters, the Rosso sisters, Dylan and Cole Sprouse, Mickey Mouse, I'm playing. Although he had the House of Mouse, but that was broadcast on Toon Disney, which is a completely different network. But anywho, you got I don't even know what else. But yeah, you had all these shows popping off. You had all these stars. And before 03, you had, again, you had R.I.P. to Famous Jet Jackson. You had For the Future, which was after 03. But, again, you had Kimberly J. Brown, Aaron Chambers, and you had Ryan Merriman. They was popping off, but it ain't see, in the 80s and the 90s, in the 2020s, yeah. But it ain't like people try to make it like, I was going to say today, but it ain't like what people try to make Disney look like from 01 to K16. Back then, these were world superstar, world class, worldwide performers. These were real performers. So if somebody asks me, why is a grown man that I keep watching the children's channel way after my time, way after my tenure, way, as some of y'all might say, passes, because in the 10s, nah, y'all stupid. You're stupid. The 2020s is when it was past its prime, which is why I made a whole ass video called The 20s, which was mostly supposed to be about kind of everything in the 20s, but it was mostly about Disney. And not even Nick and CN, because CN lost his magic to me in the 10s, but whatever. But anywho, so everybody was getting a piece of pie, but this was bad, because this ain't when Josh Peck and them trying to act nah, y'all was on a real y'all was on some creepy shit, but you weren't no regular kids, you people knew your name, it's just the grown folks didn't really know who you were, and even some of them knew who you were, but it ain't back in 98, when Kimberly J and 97 when what's her name? I just said it, Aaron Chambers and fucking Ryan Merriman, when they came out in the late 90s, the tail end, even when they was filming these movies, because it only takes 3 months to film a Disney Channel movie, a DCOM, they were not well known. Even when these movies came out, the mamas and daddies of these kids had to hear the name like Kimberly J. Brown, Aaron Chambers, Ryan Merriman 47 times a day, along with the dude from 13, what was it? Lucky that, what is it? The 13th year, yeah, the 13th year. Anywho, don't even get me started on how creepy Blank Check is. That shit's weird. Stop doing that. Yeah, okay. But anywho, I'm saying the parents of these kids had to hear about these names 47 times a day, 45 times a day. But the world at large had no idea who these people were. So yeah, Kimberly J. Brown and Ryan, and Aaron were just these regular ass kids. Half of y'all That's these X's and these boomers and these alphas and these Z's. Y'all young niggas, y'all old niggas, y'all little niggas, y'all ain't heard who, but I'm used to hearing these names. And so yeah, even 28 years later, y'all don't really know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I could see Kimberly J. Brown and Ryan Merriman and just hanging out at the mall, and then every once in a while a kid would come up with them, maybe a group of kids like, oh my God, it's Kimberly J. Brown. Oh my God, oh my fucking God, woo. Yeah, I can kind of see that happening back then. Like a stampede of fucking kids, but like, for the most part, once these movies wrapped up, Xenon, Halloween, fucking, Smart House, Don't Look Under the Bed. Once these movies kind of once they wrapped up and all the movies kind of dried up, their fame kind of went away. Their fame kind of dropped. Like, I ain't hating on Kimberly J. Because like, if I ever meet Kimberly J. Brown, I'm like, nah, Kimberly Brown, I'm not hating on you. Like, I am, like, I'm saying, because like, I would love to go to St. Augustine, Florida. Not Florida, wherever it is. Wherever the St. Augustine thing where they had a Halloween Time Festival, the real life Halloween Time Festival, every fucking year. I would love to go see that. Not every year. And even these meet and greet events she be doing in like September, July, I would go see Kimberly J. Brown. But like, she already married, so I mostly just liked her because she was fine as hell. But since she already married, I mean, I would come one time to be like, oh my God, that's Benny. Even though I know it's just an animatronic inside of a car on a track. But I'm like, that was still cool, kind of. R.I.P. to Debbie Reynolds. What's up? What's her name? Meg Hodge, and whatever the woman name is who played the little girl. Sophie. But yeah, but I'm just saying, they parts just start drying up, and they start getting less and less work. And again, I don't think that's fair. Cause if it was me, I would have gave Kimberly J. Brown all the parts in the world. And I don't like that they replaced her with Sarah. Who the hell is Sarah Paxton? My nigga, who the fuck is the Sarah? I still to this day, 20 something years later, well, 19 years, I still don't know who the fuck Sarah Paxton is. I only know you for two things. Your career never took off. So what was the point of you taking Kimberly J. Brown's spot? I still would rather watch Kimberly J. Brown. Whatever. But we can't always get what we want. But anywho, so yeah, I'm just saying they actually were just on like a random ass children network in the 80s and the 90s. Like whatever Josh Peck thought he was doing, nah. You was actually famous. You weren't on some random, because like Nickelodeon started popping off in 91. Disney Channel didn't really pop off until 97. So if you was on Nickelodeon anywhere in the last, really I would say the last, from 91 to like K16, you was the shit. Like everybody knew your name. You was just famous now. So that's why I don't know why Drake, the rapper, why he act like he just got famous. I'm like, you could tell somebody to write his lines for him, because your lines don't, why he keep rapping about getting famous? Nigga, you was already famous in 01. You were just on the children. Do y'all not know being on a children's show is not the same thing as not being famous? Unless it's fucking Barney. I don't know nobody's real name on that shit, except Selena, Debbie, and like a couple of, apparently I think Madison Pettis was on that show. But anyway, so I mean a lot of famous names came out of that show, but they weren't famous when they was on that show. So Selena, Demi, and Debbie, they can sit there and say, and Madison Pettis, they can sit there and say, we didn't really get pop. And say that, I don't even know what the hell Hip Hop Harry is, but shout out to Kelly Bergman. But they can actually sit there and say, yeah, we weren't famous like that. Like we was on PBS, but like for the most part, we might occasionally get recognized by like a little toddler, 2, 5-year-old. But for the most part, we could just chill. Like we had the best of both worlds. Like we were famous without really being famous. And even when we was famous, it was mostly just like a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old. So it wasn't really scary. Like unless there was a creepy grown man outside of your house, but it wasn't really scary. Like most of the time it would just be some little squirt with a juice box. Like, hi Kelly, or not, yeah, hi Debbie. Even though I doubt they use their real names, they probably had whatever the character they were playing, but hi Selena. And you be like, hi little baby child. Selena said she was embarrassed about being on Barney. Anywho, I don't know why. Like, you were 8. Like, looking back, I can kind of see that's like if a 13-year-old hung out with a 10-year-old at the time. But I'm just saying, 25 years later, I'm pretty sure Selena and Demi, even Debbie, well, Debbie should have been embarrassed because she was 13. She actually was too fucking old to be a boy. And I only know that because me and Debbie Ryan are the same fucking age. You know, Selena, Demi, and Miley and Bridget are a year older than me. So I don't know what Selena was complaining. Girl, 25 years ago. Like, I understand at the time, but now I assume Selena's like me. She don't really care that she was on Barney. She's like, yeah, I was on Barney. It wasn't that big a deal. Like, it wasn't embarrassing. Like, it was alright. Like, it was cool. I met Demi. We hung out a lot, and we got our own movie 9 years later, so that was cool. And we got our own TV shows, and I even get started on her show, so yeah, that was fun. But anywho, I don't know, Sarah with a chance never got a decom, but anywho, and yeah, I already discussed back in the day. I don't know how they decided what got a decom, what got a theatrical movie, what got a straight to video movie. I don't fucking know. Just like I don't even know how they did with the theatrical cartoons. Why they decided to put them on feature. But anywho, but so, you know, Christy was doing even and doing Kim, you know, KP. She kind of started singing, but she didn't really sing. She didn't sign with Hollywood Rex, which is the name of the well, I'm not gonna say, y'all can look it up for yourself, but she signed with Hollywood Rex. I don't know about Walt Disney Records. She might have signed with them too. But or whether, sorry, she didn't sign with Hollywood Records. She might have signed with Walt Disney, but anywho, yeah. So her career, and she loves to tell it. Anne Hathaway stole her shit. Katy Perry stole her shit. And she pissed away all her money from the shows. She ain't had nothing left. Blah blah blah. She whined a lot, gave it to a psychic. She did a movie called Campus Confidential, which is the last thing I saw her in. That was like '05. Yeah, that shit's 20 years old. I saw it on like ABC, you know, Freeform back when it was still called ABC Family. And I seen it, you know, 6 years ago was the last time I saw it because it was free on the Freeform app, which apparently is also no longer a thing. Whatever. Anywho. But yeah, so Christy's career kind of bombed out after the 2000s is what I'm saying. But yeah, she was a celebrity when it first happened. Shia LaBeouf, y'all know that nigga blew up. And then the later years, just lost his goddamn mind and started dancing half naked in a cage with a chop. Fuck you, Sia. Fuck you, ain't creepy Shia LaBeouf. Stop hanging out with. And by the way, actually, she was 12. So, yo, why you got a child naked in a cage? Even if you say it was a body, it still looked like she actually naked. You knew what you was doing. And Shia LaBeouf is actually, I ain't want to talk about it, but still, where else would I talk about Shia LaBeouf half naked in a cage with a 12-year-old girl wearing a bodysuit that's skin colored, that's flesh colored, looks like she's naked, and looks it's supposed to be a younger version of Sia. And then that same creepy ass lady sleeps in the bed with a 17-year-old. I don't care what you talk about, Sia. There's only two explanations for that. Either you a PDF file, a 3PDO, a cupcake chaser, or you're a fucking weirdo who try to kidnap somebody else's child. Either way, none of those options are good. Stop being weird. Stop being weird. Stop being weird. Stop being weird. Anywho, so yeah, that's what happened to Christy. But I'm just saying, and then, you know, y'all know what happened to Hillary. Hillary did, you know, the show. Then she did music for a while, dropped the two greatest hits albums, retired, you know, came back on September the 9th, 2014, released one of my favorite songs by her, All About You, released another song I don't care about called Chasing the Sun. On the same day as K. Smith, he released Happy Mistakes Day that day. But few months prior, on March 23rd, he released the Happy Parallel song. Excuse me, just his first ever single since and then he released what's that shit? I don't know if Happy Mistakes actually had that as a single, but it was one of the songs on there, and it was a type. Anyway, then Hillary came back a year later, in June. I was trying to say July, but June of that year, apparently, I think June 15th. I always thought it was July, but anyway, she came back with an album called Breathe In, Breathe Out, something like that. I like that song Spark, and then that song. What's that other song? What's that song? The one with Kendall Schmidt. Night Like This, About You. All About You and Sparkle, ticking, talking like a bomb. Can't hear a single thing. Can't hear a single word you're saying. Just know you're talking. I just know you're talking because your lips keep moving. Every single thing I learned goes out the window. Because all I want is you anyway. Skin to skin, we get it. Anywho, we get it on. Anywho, but yeah, that song. Turn the lights down low and kiss me in the dark. 'Cause when you're touching me, baby, I see sparks. You make my heart go. Anywho, whatever. And again, her first album was Metamorphosis, that was 03. She was gonna do, the Lizzie McGuire reboot, but then Disney kept saying we want it to be a baby show. She said, "No, I want to be a grown folk show." Which I'm like, it's Lizzie fucking McGuire. You can't do a baby version of Lizzie McGuire. The whole point of Lizzie McGuire is she's supposed to be us. We're not in our teens anymore. How the hell would we relate to that? It wouldn't be Lizzie McGuire anymore. Cause like that dude on fucking React, he didn't get this. He said she's a white girl who has problems. No. The reason why people like Lizzie McGuire is because she was us. She worried about going to the prom. She had pimples on her face. She wanted to wear a bra. Not that I wanted. I'm just saying I didn't want to, but chicks wanted to wear a bra. So again, she was a regular kid. She didn't have superpowers. She couldn't see into the future. She wasn't a pop star. Unless you count that time Aaron Carter had started. She wasn't a pop star. She didn't have superpowers. She didn't have magic powers. She didn't have she had a brother, but she didn't have a brother who pulled pranks, and her mom was not a senator or a fucking, and her dad was not a lawyer. Anywho, so Liz McGuire was just a regular kid. She wasn't like, the other characters on. She wasn't even from the future either. And anywho, and she didn't live in a hotel, but you get the point. She was us. And that was the appeal. And she wasn't like, Jet Jackson was Hannah Montana before Hannah Montana. But I'm not about to do part 2 of this bitch at all, y'all. So let me see. You promise castles, treasures, babies, I don't care. 'Cause for now you just enough for me, I want you near. Turn the lights down low and kiss me in the dark. 'Cause when you touching me, baby, I see spark. You make my heart go. Let's see. Cause when you touching me, baby, I see. Oh, there he is. Okay, I don't know. Oh, fuck. You promise trashers can't. Trashers. They have as a trasher. You promise treasures, castles, babies. I don't care. Cause now you just enough for me. I want you near. Oh, that must be the fan right there. God damn it, I need a longer fucking cord. God damn it. Now, ain't that about a bitch? I don't know if y'all can hear me. If y'all can't, I'm gonna have to re-record this whole goddamn thing, son. Any fucking who. This thing ain't as old as that fucking DVD player. But anywho, y'all. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to take that out. I could probably flip that on. No, I probably could have moved that up, but whatever. Anywho, y'all. Babies on the bitches. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not. Yes, still.